How often do we as architects get a chance to design a project which has 3,000 years of history staring at you? We have this immensely powerful context of our site being flanked by a fort wall which echoes 3,000 years of history. There is a temple for Sakotar Mata, who is the sea goddess. Vadnagar as a town is steeped in history. It was also a sea trading town. And then ASI has not only conserved this fort wall, but it has also done some very interesting excavations just above the fort wall in the old city. So our brief simply was to create a museum that responds to this exciting and interesting context and also showcases Vadnagar in its glory through 7 different dynasties of development or 7 different eras of development of Vadnagar. And it showcases the lifestyle, the economic wealth, the daily activities that people in those times used to manifest. We have this beautiful site. We have this powerful fort wall right in front of us. So how do we actually place our building? What is the massing? What is the zoning? How do we make or design our building blocks? We took the approach that the fort wall and the temple will be the hero of our project. And also, this site, which is in front of the temple, is used by the locals for Garba and for various, religious and community purposes. So there were our design story or the concept really hinged around creating a public space which would have these galleries for experiencing the museum. And then after we take the visitor through our building block and through the galleries, we would take him through a lift to the actual excavation site. So it's the first time in India that we've built a museum which is a truly experiential museum. So when you approach the site, we have this very interesting facade element, approximately 100 feet by 35, 36 feet high, which is completely made out of carved stone. And all the motifs are derived from the actual artifacts, from the graphics found on the actual artifacts at our excavation site. And there is this 80-meter long ramp with a clear space below it from where you're connected to the courtyard, the temple, the fort wall from the outside. So when a visitor comes, he goes through my orientation block, climbs up this 80-meter long ramp. And while he's climbing up this ramp, he is immersed in the vast expanse of this fort wall. It's a 150-meter long conserved fort wall, approximately 15 meter high. So he's enjoying this courtyard and he's enjoying the fort wall while he's actually walking up to the first level from where his journey into the building galleries will start. Another key component of this courtyard is these crisscross and grid lines that we've sort of recreated through paving patterns. These, as I would call them, are the lines of force. So when we actually designed this courtyard and hinged the building block, because the building is a semicircular block, we used a lot of geometrical projections and sort of these lines of force which would define how we place the building. And those lines of force have now become pavements and walking paths in this courtyard. All the time that you are in this building, you are aware of the fort wall, you are connected to the fort wall, and you're always looking to the courtyard with the backdrop of the temple and the fort wall. The material palette. Sandstone is like a local material there. So we've used 2 types of sandstone in our building. We've used, for the pavements and all, we've used river-washed granite, flame granite. And we've also used a lot of terrazzo for the pavements. So keeping the palette very earthy, very, very connected to my context. There is this interesting intervention that we've done on the excavation site. So you have approximately 3,000 square meters of area which has been excavated up to 12 to 15, 16 feet depth by ASI, uncovering the various layers and the various eras of the development of Vadnagar city. From our building, we take the visitor to the excavation site, from where you have the expansive Sharmishtha lake on one side. And we've created this cover to shield the excavation site from water. Now, normally at excavation sites, they will dig up the excavation site, take out the artifacts, do their studies, and then fill them back. But here in Vadnagar, the client, which is the Ministry of Culture and the Department of Archaeology and Museums, Gujarat, they have decided to make this a live experiential museum. That is, we are not really going to fill the excavation site back. We are going to leave it excavated. And so, shielding it from water became a very key tenet of the design. And now we've made this approximately 80-meter wide span, and on the lake side of it, we've created a completely overhung viewing gallery, which ensures that there is people enjoy this lovely connectivity to the lake next to the excavation site. So, in a nutshell, this is what the design attempts to convey, and we've tried to very sensitively create this public space, if I may call it, but which also has these private elements of the individual gallery.